Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I get a lot of questions for women who have miscarried, stillbirths, terminated. The question that I get a lot is, if I lose my baby, does it go to heaven? Where does it go? Are they okay? And I have such empathy on so many levels with this topic. You know, I always tell people there's a reason that I have one child biologically, because I had a hard time with her. It was a very turbulent pregnancy. Before her, I've lost, and after her, I lost. So total amount was four babies. So to anyone who has lost a baby, my heart bleeds for all of you. It's not an easy thing. Some women are able to get through it. Some people never get through it. Here's the question. I get this a lot from women. Why did I lose this baby? I wanted it so much. And I understand that too. But very interesting. I truly believe that when a soul signs up, just like all of us, we have a soul contract. And that little soul will sign up knowing fully its intent, if it's going to make it or not, even before it enters our body. You're going to say, really? Yes. That soul knows fully it's going to make it or not. So I'll even use my thing as an example. The first miscarriage that I had, literally, I miscarried it right in the toilet. You're going to say, oh my God. I was about 4.5 months pregnant. And I remember I had such a pain in my stomach. And I'm sitting on that toilet thinking that I'm, going to the bathroom. But in reality, it went plop, and I felt something very loud hit that water. When I got up to look, and I'm really staring at it, I could actually see a little fetus. You're going to say, are you kidding? No, it's very traumatic. I remained calm because I went numb. Anything that bad ever happened to me, I don't react right away. It's almost like my body preserves me and I go into shock. So I remember calling my doctor, and the nurse called the paramedics to come and get me because I was alone. And they asked if I had a shoebox and if I could put any remains in there, which I did. Long story short, I was 4.5 months along, and I didn't really know I was pregnant because I had sporadic menstrual cycles, and I was very, very tiny. So didn't feel anything, so I really didn't know at that moment that I was. Long story short, I began to really wonder, why did this happen? And the way that it did, it was very traumatic for me. But I do remember having a dream, and it was told to me that that soul signed up, knowing fully it wasn't going to make it. Why? For the bigger gift to give the mother. I have to be honest with you. After that happened to me, I was very much depressed. And I couldn't understand why. Now, time goes by. Get married. Gave birth to Alex. My last pregnancy after Alex was 3 years old. And I wanted this baby more than anything. And lost it. Couldn't do it. After I lost that baby, I was very, very upset. And I remember having a dream, and I see this beautiful male in his 20s. He was tall, he was thin, and he looked like me. And I looked at him and I said, do I know you? And he says, yes, you do. I'm your son. And I looked at him and I said, oh, I'm so sorry that I couldn't have you. I loved you so much and I wanted you. And he said, you'll always be my mother. He says, but I was not meant to make it. And I says, well, why? I had enough love for you, for Alex, for anybody. He says, you don't understand. You're going to need your time for Alex. You don't know it yet, but you will. And I still didn't have a clue what he was talking about. And this was in the dream. And I thought, I just didn't understand that. He says, I was meant to go into your body for the doctor to tell you you will never be able to have another child, and you needed to understand why. And with that, the dream ended. Well, that plagued me, I cannot tell you. I did not understand what that meant until my daughter was 6, and we found out that she had autism. Everything then made sense, what he was trying to tell me. Sometimes when we're going through things, it doesn't make sense. And I'm the first one to say that until later. Did he teach me something? He gave me the best gift that he ever could. He changed me forever, just like my first pregnancy did. It taught me empathy. It taught me to look at things so much more different. And it taught me to open and love with an open heart, along with an open mind. We are here to have what we're supposed to have, no more, no less. Some of us are not supposed to have any children in this lifetime. You're going to say, but why? I want them. I can't tell you that. But whatever the reason is, don't feel you're being punished, although later the story evolves even greater. And now the puzzle pieces start to come back. Now, the answer to the question, where do our babies go? Right straight to God. The angels take it immediately, even with a stillbirth. Little babies that have maybe lived for a day, a month, whatever. They're special. Children immediately go with the angels, and they go right to God. So I do want to tell you this because this is a greater message and a greater gift for the mother. We are supposed to learn, but we're also supposed to change because of the beautiful experience that we're left with. Now, for those of you that don't feel that, I understand that too. But as time goes by, and I've said this to mothers, and I've taught workshops on this, they've all agreed later that they understood more than when at the time they were going through. And maybe it's to appreciate the next pregnancy with a different kind of an oomph. Maybe it's to appreciate that maybe we're not supposed to be with the person we're supposed to be with. Maybe we are taught to look at things differently, to cherish what we took for granted. I don't know. Everybody has their own lessons and experiences to experience. But let me tell you, these beautiful souls that sign up, even though fully that they're not going to make it, they are trying to teach us something by the experience. So for those of you that are having a tough time right now, my heart does go out to you. I do know that because I am a mother and I've gone through this many times of loss. But then again, redirect, sit down, think about what it is that you have to learn, or how did it change you? Did it change you for the better, for you to look at things that you never would have looked at had you have not gone through this experience? I think that's truly what this is about. Be honest. Don't be bitter. I'll tell you, my last one, I fell into a depression. And it took me a while to understand it. 3 years, as a matter of fact. It wasn't until 3 years later that when we found out that what our daughter needed, and she needed so much of our time, and I now understand why he had to take a back seat, because I wanted more children and I wasn't supposed to have any. Alex was supposed to be the one that I was supposed to focus on, and only Alex. Like I said, at the time I couldn't understand that. I thought I had enough love for the world because we wanted so much, but I was missing something much more greater that I wasn't ready to receive. Until 3 years later is when I started to put it all together. So when I think back to this lovely dream that he came to me to explain that to me, I will be forever grateful. And I always ask God to bless his spirit and his soul, and to all the babies that I've lost. I pray to God each and every day, and I always say, and may you always bless their spirit and their little souls. And I thank you, God, for whatever that you're putting me through, that I'm learning and I'm taking away. And I am grateful. So, like I said, don't be bitter, be better. Think about it on a more spiritual way. You are not being punished. And things have a way of working through. All right? So I hope that this has enlightened you and gave you food for thought. I wish you peace. I wish you strength to all the mothers that are going through this right now. Subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and have a blessed week. Take care. Bye-bye.